Hey guys, it's Avondale and welcome to the Behind the Walls series where I take you guys behind the walls of the Noxcrew Gameshow.
Oh my god.
Oh, you.
Such a bad joke.
So, as you can hear, I'm here with Noxite today, and we would like to carefully remind you right now before we get started that if you haven't seen the episode yet, it'd be a good idea to go watch it now, and I've got a link up there somewhere for you guys to do it. So go check that out. So yeah, here's Noxite. How's it going?
Hey, I'm great. I didn't laugh at your joke.
Yeah, you are the biggest troll.
Avon was, before we started recording, he was like, okay, when I say that behind the walls joke, you have to laugh, like, really hard.
You have to laugh so hard. I wanted him
so hard, like you're desperate, as if you're desperate to marry me.
I wanted him to laugh at that joke that was obviously a joke.
And you wanted me to.
Yeah, and he said he was going to do it, and he's such a jerk.
I said I was going to laugh.
I mean, it's okay because just read some of the Job jokes during the episodes this season, and you'll see why Nox is so mean to me. It's all a rebuttal of the Job jokes. Okay, so anyways, we are in Shoot 'Em Down, a game which we designed brand new for this season of Game Show, and just happened to be the first game picked, which was kind of nice.
Was it the first game that was redesigned, like one of the brand new ones?
It was the first brand new game for the new season, yeah.
Indeed.
So we were setting out to build a game that was similar to Bath Time, sort of, except we didn't want the teams to be taking turns at rounds. We wanted them to go at the same time. And if we hit this button here, we can come down below and I'll show you sort of what we were looking at doing. So basically, imagine there was like a blue team side over there and we're like the yellow team right now, right? So both teams would be traversing sort of a sprint-style obstacle course at the same time, but we needed a way for you to be able to interact with the players on the other side. We were going to do that with bows and arrows, and so we were thinking, how do we trip traps with a bow and arrow? And the answer to that is you shoot a button. Aww. There we go. So you shoot a button. The issue with that, though, is, you know, there's 3 people playing, so let's say the trap means that a piston comes out so they can't go by. We now have no control over when this button resets. The game will have to despawn the arrows. We could kill them, but there is some variability there that we didn't want to deal with. So we were looking for some type of a different target that you can shoot to control the amount of time it takes for the trap to reset. And so I came up with these minecart targets here, and basically what happens is you shoot the minecart, that trips the trap, and then after a certain length of time, it can be adjustable, it respawns the minecart back over here and shuts the target off. Nice thing about these, they're really easy to shoot from far away, which means you can put them at really weird distances and still make it work.
Did you see that?
Yeah, that was just absolutely fantastic. You just shot at me and there was, like, you know, the Doritos particles that come off the stuff that, like, flew right by my face. It was great.
Fantastic.
But yeah, we wanted to use this for those type of traps, and somewhere along the line we were just like, man, shooting these minecarts is really fun. What if we did a game that was just about shooting them? And we had previously considered remaking Shoot 'Em Up anyways, and that's sort of where Shoot 'Em Down came from. Let's talk some more about what actually happened during this game when we were filming it.
So when this game was first designed, and we did a test run, I think it took us like... Right, because of the rules of Shoot 'Em Down, you know, you have 2 options when you come onto the field. You can either just straight away, you know, straight off, just hunt down the targets, just, you know, ignore the enemy team and just go for the targets. Or you can try and sabotage the enemy team, right?
Yep.
This means, like, an abundance of different kind of outcomes can happen during the game. Because what happens if the enemy team just choose to ignore you and you choose to ignore them? You know, nothing, it just kind of, the game just happens really quickly, right?
And that was sort of our issue in testing, was the first time we tested the game, it lasted about 5 minutes. The second or third time we tested it, it lasted over 10, because the teams were just trying to sabotage the
off.
other ones the whole time, and then games started to get really quick after that, and it kind of worried us.
Yeah, so there was a lot of kind of random outcomes when we were testing. And the difficult thing is, how do you know what will happen on the night when you let the teams out of the cage, of their cages down here?
Yeah.
How do you know what they will choose to do? Are they going to simply try to sabotage the other team, or are they just going to go for the targets? And, you know, that's going to determine how long the game's going to last. Ultimately, we don't want a game that lasts 2 minutes because that's too short. We want a little bit more time for the audience to get into it and get into the tension and etc. But also, we don't really want a game like this to last 10 minutes. We want it sort of in the 5 to 8 minute region. So
It makes the best time of an episode. And interestingly, if you listen to the commentary of the players during the episode and the interviews afterwards, when they were strategizing, they were initially saying, okay, 2 of us need to sabotage and 1 of us needs to shoot targets or something like that. And once the doors came down, pretty much all hell broke loose and everyone just ran around and did their own thing.
Oh yes,
I think we've thrown our tactic out completely, haven't we?
Yeah. We need to stop moving around.
So it's kind of unfortunate that it ended up playing out less based on teamwork than we had initially thought.
yeah.
And I think that if we were to remake this game or reuse it again in the future, we would probably try to find a way to force teamwork a little bit better. Like maybe if you need to get out of the water, your teammate has to help you to open up the ladder or something like that. There's ways we can do it.
I mean, I was going to say that there was still a lot of awesome moments in the episode, and even though the game lasted 3 minutes, I almost felt like it was perfect for the first game of the season.
Yeah, we got lucky that it was the first game of the season. I would agree, because at that point in time, like, yeah, but it's short enough. It's a new game, you're right. So that means that the first people to see this are gonna say, "Wow, they've made new games for the show," and that was extra lucky because we didn't really have a ton of brand new games on the Dome. I think this might have been the only one for the first filming that we did.
Coincidental that it was the first brand new game made and the first brand new game played.
No kidding, and it is entirely random, by the way. You'll hear me, maybe you've already heard me talk about the Decision Dome in that video, but the chickens do decide it.
Yeah,
legitimately.
we always get asked, like, when we show the Decision Dome, someone always is like, yeah, but is it actually random, or is it, like, rigged? And no, 100% random.
Yep.
Like, that's, you know, why would we...
There's a 1 in 8 chance.
What's the fun?
Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, anyways, you'll hear me talk about that in that video for sure. But the other thing I wanted to say is, like, I mean, you think about it, right? Let's say you are brand new to the Noxcrew Gameshow. This is the first episode you're watching. If we had a longer game for the first episode, and you will see some longer games throughout the season, trust us. Yeah.
30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, whose fault was that? Was it your fault, audience?
Actually, it was 20.
Let's just blame it on the audience.
Yeah.
But you'll see what we mean. No, but I mean, imagine that. You know, it's some of you, it might have been your first episode that you ever saw the Noxcrew Game Show, but if it was and you had a longer game to watch, you would have been stuck here watching, you know, a 20-minute game. And do you make it to the end? Do you get to see the reaction from the winning team and the losing team when the match is over? Do you get to see the commentary afterwards? Maybe not. We do a lot of research into the analytics of YouTube, and you can see on every video when people stopped watching on average. And the longer videos especially, people don't make it all the way through. Life gets in the way, right? Like, you start playing the video and then somebody calls you and you have to stop it. And this... Yeah, go ahead.
No, do you want to finish what you're saying?
I was just going to say, like, this was the perfect opportunity for new people to get the entire experience in a shorter time frame. Like, if you start watching episode 1 of this season, you will finish watching it because it's that quick.
That's when the game finished, when we actually played it on the night and it finished in 3 minutes. I was a bit disappointed. I was like, oh, what? You know, first game of the season, in 3 minutes. Like, that just zoomed past my face. But then when I was kind of editing it and I actually put it into the episode, and we got the graphics on top, and the sounds, and the music.
And the reactions from the contestants.
Yeah, and the contestants' like voices, and you know, every time they got hit and thrown into the water, you'd hear them scream. There's like a bit where Doffy Dorton flies past the camera.
The guy's standing right here, and you see her like she's literally just right here in the camera, and she flies through. You hear her scream.
Oh God, that's gotta sting.
And it's stuff like that that it made this game really fun for us to watch afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly we would have liked it to last a little bit longer, but it ended up working out perfectly. Like, we got really lucky with the way that it happened.
So, yeah, in the end, I was quite satisfied that it was the first episode, because the exact reasons we've just gone over the last 10 minutes.
Right.
But when we originally played this game, and I originally saw it, right? When I watch a game, when a game is presented in its full form and it's played, I usually spectate the game first. Sometimes I'll actually play it to get a feel for it and then give my criticisms, but I watch it because I'm the one who directs the cameras for each game. I have to figure out a way that the game will be watched by the audience and enjoyed. Because if a game isn't enjoyable to watch, then what's the point of having it, right? Because the whole game show is watched, you know? So I have, in my head, we have 4 cameras, right? Where do I put all 4 of those cameras, and how do I cut to them, and when do I cut to them?
That's an important point to make real quick before you go on. We filmed 6 contestants with 4 cameras.
Yes.
That is continuously a nightmare, specifically in games like this where there's no real rhyme or reason. You could start as, you know, a blue team member, and you could go to any of the other 15 targets on the other side or anywhere else on the map. How do you predict what they're going to do? How do you assign a camera to that when there's only 2 cameras for every 3 contestants?
You'll notice right at the end of the match that happened, one of the cameras had to zoom across the pitch.
Yeah.
We're in the tech chat, and I'm looking at the game, and I'm thinking, like, he's going for the last flag. There's no camera on him.
I remember you said that.
Someone get him!
I was like, there's one flag left.
Sam sees him and flies across, like hits C2L and goes zoom across to get to it.
And then looks straight down. It was a beautiful camera shot, too.
Yeah, it would have been devastating if we didn't get that on camera. Right. That would have looked really weird.
Is it the flag? Is it the flag?
Yes,
it's the flag.
Here
we
the final one.
Conflict nerd takes it,
and it's
down. Ding, ding, ding.
So these are the problems that I'm faced with when a new game is presented. Is it camera friendly? That's the #1 question. And Shoot 'em Down, it was like, no.
No, it wasn't.
Right? Because in Shoot 'em Down, there are so many places that the players can just randomly appear in. I mean, literally, someone can just shoot them and suddenly they're all the way on the other end of the pitch. And there's 6 people running around in random different directions. There's absolutely no linear setup to this game. So there's no way for me to plan how the cameras move. It's literally, okay, you have to follow some player and just hope, for the love of God, that you've got the action.
It reminds me a little bit of the way that we had done Lockdown in EP6 of the pilot season. It was pretty much camera, follow a player. If they get killed, follow the player that killed them. But then, you know, you get one player who kills 2 people, and then all of a sudden you get 2 cameras on one guy, and everything's all messed up again.
So the cameras in that game, they have to communicate a lot. They have to keep on shouting out who they're following, so that another camera who's following the same one isn't conflicting, right? So if I say, okay, I'm following Zafin, and someone else is following Zafin, then they'll realize that they need to go and follow someone else. So, you know, there's just kind of like this game of camera switching going on in the chat. But it's not, to me, that, you know, that's okay. You know, we can grab that, we can get all these shots of the action. Let's say we have 6 cameras, right? The reason we don't have 6 is because it complicates the editing process. It's I don't have very good hardware. We don't have 6 people to just have on a night recording all at the same time like that.
Yeah, we have 7 capable cameramen, and it's tough to get
they have lives
on the same night.
Yeah, They have lives. They're not always available. So, you know, that's fine. We can get 6 shots. We can get every single person in shot. But the problem relies... It actually comes when... it's how to make the audience understand the logistics of the game. You know, if I'm constantly switching this camera to 6 different shots, you're not really... You're just kind of getting all this action happening all at the same time, and it's not a really simple... you can't really simply follow it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not easy to follow, where if you look at a game like Sprint, for example, it's just one straight line, and the camera doesn't move that much. But as soon as you have all this stuff going on, it can get really confusing, and you can end up like not really understanding everything that's going on.
Yeah, and we certainly hope that we ended up pulling it off in the final product. You'll notice that there's a lot of camera angles where you'll see the target get shot, so you can hear the sound effect to the point and watch the scoreboard update all at the same time, and that's sort of how we were trying to keep it flowing.
I'd say we didn't completely like get away with it. I still felt that Shoot 'em Down was a very fast and action-packed game. Too fast for my liking. But you know, as I said, it made a really fun game because of all the sound effects and all the things that are going on. So it didn't really matter. I don't think I would have been able to keep up with it if it was an 8-minute game.
Right.
I'd have been like, Jesus, this is too fast.
And yet again, that comes back to how lucky we were that we played this one first.
Yeah,
so real quick, I'm actually gonna come up here. This is my little sort of start game TPN area. I stuck it inside the scoreboard, but I wanted to come up here because I wanted to go down below into the Redstone, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the ways that we tried to sort of repair the issues that we knew the game had.
To make it look simpler and play simpler.
Yeah,
slower.
Let's
say slower.
We were trying to slow the game down, and every way we tried to do it actually made it more complicated. And this little...
I'd say it made it less fun.
Less fun as well, points, sure.
Yeah.
This little doodad right here was actually one of the ways that we tried to slow the game down. This is a beacon right there. See, beacon. And it's on a pedestal that makes it turn on when it has a clear sight to the sky, which it doesn't right now, but that's fine. Basically, the reason this was here is because there were 3 places up in the map, over the center, and then over the T intersections on either end of the course, the left and right sides, where this would get cloned into, and it would be, we called it a resupply point, didn't we?
Yes.
So basically, one player out of the 3 of your team was a resupplier, and he didn't have a bow, he had a sword. And the idea was that the 2 resuppliers had to fight over the resupply point to get the arrows back for themselves. And basically the way that it would work is it would give the resupplier 2 arrows, and then each of the other 2 people, the shooters, it would give them 1 arrow. And so they would
run back.
Yeah.
Well, originally...
One of them did it that way. We did it a couple different ways.
Yeah, they had to run... The other 2 shooters had to run back to the resupplier to gather more arrows from him. So he would literally throw the arrows to them.
Yep.
That was the original way we did it.
When you combined that with, you know, the fighting over the resupply point and everything else, it slowed the game way down. There was like 20-minute games.
And it ended up being that the people with the arrows now valued their arrows so much that they didn't want to sabotage the other team. They just wanted to go for shooting the targets.
Exactly. They stopped using their knockback bows to shoot people because they knew their arrows were so valuable for the score of the game. As far as the redstone goes on this game, really very simple. The only new thing we invented for this game was just those targets that we used, but basically you shoot a minecart up there, it just trips a signal that puts blocks down here based on which target they are. I had them all color-coded as well. When they all get hit, there's an AND gate that shuts off, triggers the win sequence. A lot of this stuff is actually outdated now. I've replaced it with condensed versions of this that I can trigger remotely, but that's a whole new video in itself. I think. Oh, and this is actually part of the resupply point over here as well. this was the animation when it would spawn in. It would strike lightning, and where's the lightning strike? Yeah, it would strike the ground when it summoned in, and then clone itself in. And then this was the timer that replaced it. There was a randomizer that chose which one was going to come next. It was all neat. I didn't delete it in case we ever wanted to come revisit it, but that'll never happen. Not for this game, anyways. Maybe for another game. We'll see. So
Maybe in the future.
In the future, yeah. We'll make this into a game right after Joffrey's Chamber 3. How's that? There we go. So yeah, what do you think? Anything else you want to talk about that we haven't talked about yet?
I don't know. It feels like we covered it with icing and a cherry.
Ooh.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then sprinkled a little love on top
Yeah, I
of
mean,
that.
you know, there was a lot of stuff that we tried with this game, and in the end, we just kind of said, you know what? This is kind of fun. Let's not change it. If it's fun, then that's what counts. And we're just gonna, you know.
And it was fun, and you heard the reaction from the boys and the girls at the end of the episode.
When they won, oh my god, Team Shed's reactions, oh my god.
It was so good.
They were just, you felt it. You felt the heat.
Yep.
Yeah, really great game.
Yeah.
Again, so
Alrighty.
I wouldn't use it again. No jokes.
No jokes.
I don't know.
Alright, well anyways, yeah, so thanks to Noxite for coming on the show to talk about Shoot 'em Down. I'm sure we'll see you again in another episode in the future.
Please.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Please invite me back.
Fair enough.
Don't kick me out.
So until next time, I've been Avondale. Thanks for watching.
And Noxite. I've been Noxite. Thanks for watching.
Okay, bye. So where do we go from here?
So wait, okay, so you were talking about this. No, I purposefully missed that. You don't
Oh
understand.
yeah, just like you purposefully laughed at my joke earlier.
Just you know, just I don't know. Go shoot him down now. Shoot him down. Yeah. Just be like, okay, and this game is what came out of it.